The Gravity of Covenant Law. I am Reverend Imran Shuker. The Gravity of Covenant Law. I am Reverend Imran Shuker. As we study Scripture, we will see how covenant laws are not arbitrary stipulations but fixed moral principle which governs the moral order. Moreover, they reflect the inner life of the Blessed Trinity. In short, covenant is what God does because covenant is who God is. Covenant law is to the moral order of human relations what the laws of nature are to the physical order. We are familiar with certain fixed laws like gravity which govern material things like our bodies. Suppose one day I grow tired of the law of gravity and how it restricts my bodily freedom. So I climb to the top of the tower and jump just to assert my freedom from the law of gravity. Would I break the law of gravity? No. I would only demonstrate it. The only thing broken most likely would be my bones. The same thing holds true of covenants in the spiritual realm. We might protest and complain in the midst of painful conflict and walk away from a committed relationship. We even try sometimes to talk away from God in a sort of mute protest. But we don't thereby break or invalidate the natural moral law of the covenant, binding us to God and to one another. We only break ourselves and the lives of our loved ones. The moral order of human life may be invisible, but it is governed by covenant laws that are no less firmly fixed than the law of physics. Once we understand the permanence of the covenant, we begin to appreciate its grandeur. We can use it as a lens with which to view human history. We begin to see from a heavenly perspective how God has worked from generation to generation to keep the human family together. And when we pierce through that same lens from earth toward heaven, we see the eyes of our Father peering back to us, keeping watch over His people. This mutual bond of obedience, trust and committed love is the heart of the covenant. It's what the ancient Hebrew called hesed, sometimes translated as loyalty or favor. Its essential meaning is that kind of covenant love that is shared by family members. Jesus told the parable of the prodigal son to give a poignant illustration in concrete terms of the beauty and depths of the new covenant he had come to establish. The Gospel of St. Luke chapter 15 verse 11 till 32. When we read the story we might focus on the young man's sinful life, but that would be the same mistake that his envious elder brother made. Instead, we need to remember that the point of the parable is not the son's failure, but the father's constant love. No matter what the young man did to try to break or escape the family bond of covenant connecting him to his dad, he never succeeded. Even when he was far away in a foreign country, feeding pigs, the covenant embraced him. It's what eventually brought him back home. Parents who have had to agonize over their own prodigals know the kinds of stubborn love as we are talking about here. It's like an abiding law of nature. Our kids may test our love for them, but they can't break it. Jesus once told his listeners, the Gospel of Matthew chapter 7 verse 11, that if we sinners that we are able to show a deep commitment to our children's welfare, then how much more confident should we be that the love of God for us will never be exhausted or overcome. Thanks for watching. Have an eternal home. God bless you all.